Today we will see software testing lifecycle. Software testing lifecycle or STLC is a set of phases that includes different activities to be performed as part of testing. The phases of STLC interact with every stage of the software lifecycle. Similar to the SDLC, the output of a phase of the STLC may serve as the input for the next phase. As you can see here, there are 5 phases in the STLC. In the test planning phase, the testing objectives are defined. Testing objectives may include features to be tested, types of testing to be performed, hardware and software availability, defining exit criteria such as when to stop the testing, and defining the resources and schedules for testing. In the test analysis and design phase, we write the test cases based on the type of testing selected in the previous phase. This phase also includes identifying necessary test data required for testing, designing the test environment setup, and identifying the required infrastructure and tools are also part of this phase. Next is the test implementation and execution. Actual testing is performed in this phase. The major task in this phase is performing testing using test cases, creating the logs of the outcome of test execution, comparing the results of the test execution with the expected results, logging the defects, and repeating testing activities in order to ensure that the defects identified previously is fixed and no new defects are introduced. Testing is an iterative process. That is, if the defects are fixed, retesting is done to ensure that no defects are there and no new defects are introduced. In the next phase, which is evaluating exit criteria and reporting, logs generated in the previous phase are checked against the exit criteria determined in the planning phase to check if more testing is required. A test summary report is created for stakeholders to review the progress of testing. After testers assure that defects have been fixed and no more critical bugs remain in the software, we go to the next phase, which is test closure activities. In this phase, the testing environment is cleaned up and restored to default state. The process review meetings are done and lessons learned are documented. Data from completed test activities are also archived for future reference. STLC deliverables. Each stage in STLC will have a definite entry and exit criteria, activities and deliverables associated with it. During the test planning phase, each requirement is mapped as testable and non-testable requirements, and requirement traceability matrix is prepared. Traceability metric links a business requirement to its corresponding functional requirement. It is also helpful to ensure that all requirements are tested. Automation feasibility for the given testing project is also done in this stage. During the test planning phase, test plan is documented. Test plan documents the type of testing performed, identify the environment details, test tool selection, defines the training needs, resource plannings are defined, and the roles and responsibilities are also documented. A test plan helps monitor the progress of various testing activities and helps to take control action in case of any deviation from the planned activities. Effort estimation is also delivered in this phase. Test estimates can be affected by various factors like time, people, and geographic distribution of the test team and so on. In the test analysis and design, test team starts to write test scenarios. Test scenario is a concept which provides one-line information on what to test. Good test coverage can be achieved in test scenarios. These test scenarios further helps the testing team in writing test cases. Test case provides detailed information on what to test, steps to be taken, and the expected results of the same. This phase involves creation, verification, and rework of test cases. Associated test data and scripts are also created in this phase. During test implementation and execution phase, the test team would carry out the testing based on the test plan and test cases prepared. Test results document is created by the test team in this phase. Test results includes the pass-fail status of the test cycle against each of the test cases executed. For each of the failed test cases, defects are logged in the defect tracking tool. Bug report is also a deliverable in the test implementation phase. A bug report contains all the necessary information needed by the development team to fix the bug. It contains the description, reproducible steps to generate the bug, the environment details where the bugs were reproducible. Priority and severity is also associated with the bug, followed by its current status. Bug reports are not only used by programmers, but also by managers, executives, and other teams for various other reasons. Test summary report is created as part of exit criteria and reporting. Test summary report is a document which contains summary of testing activities and its final test results. Test summary report should measure coverage against the requirements. It mainly contains the test suites data, test cases data, test results, and defect data along with risk. Various test metrics are also published in this phase. Different metrics helps to measure the quality, cost, and effectiveness of the product being tested. Few of the metrics that's usually captured are test coverage, defect priority and severity, defect density, etc. During the last phase of test closure, testing team will meet, discuss, and analyze testing artifacts to identify strategies that have to be implemented in future, taking lessons learned from the current test cycle. This is documented as lessons learned. The idea is to remove the process bottlenecks for future test cycles and share best practices for any similar projects in future. Thank you.